Aaron Pico finally making his UFC debut, but it is baptism by fire versus Lerone Murphy. Let's discuss. What's up, guys? Laura Sanko here. As always, I am joined by Din Thomas. Looks like you're in Florida.
Yeah. You could tell by the perspiration.
Yeah, it
It's
looks
like
like
a
you have
hundred.
horns.
It's like 100 and something degrees in
It
here.
looks like you have horns because you're centered up right behind your longhorn picture.
Oh, I do. Holy crap! I have horns.
You look like LL. No, not who was it that had the braids that came straight out?
Oh, Coolio.
Julio. You look like Julio.
So, so the late great Coolio, his braids started right here, and they went like, from here to here. He
Yeah.
had nothing here.
Like I love it.
Yeah.
Don't move it. Just stay right there. We're
Yeah,
gonna
I'm
rock
trying
this
to.
the
I don't want
entire
to move.
video.
I'm trying to stay right here.
Yeah, this is this is the co-main event breakdown for UFC 319. We've got Lerone Murphy taking on UFC newcomer, but not new to MMA at all, Aaron Pico. All right, so this was actually Pico was supposed to be fighting Mosvar Evloev in Abu Dhabi, and that got rescheduled. So this is a late notice fight for Lerone Murphy, a late notice opponent for Aaron Pico, but a fascinating matchup nonetheless. What are your top line thoughts, Dean?
My top thought is that this fight is so much harder to pick than if he was fighting Mosvar Evloev. Like if he was fighting Mosvar, like it was already written for me that he was going to beat Mosvar. I was like, all right, he's just better. I mean, Mosvar obviously it's hard to say that another human being's better because he's undefeated. But to me, I'm like, yo, he's a better puncher and possibly a better wrestler than Mosvar. So of course he's going to win that fight. But now you inject Lerone Murphy, another undefeated guy who fights a completely different style, a style that perhaps could give a guy like Aaron Pico trouble, especially in his debut. This is a really tough one for me to pick. I've been going back and forth with this all day, Laura. I was like, I mean, it's really been consuming my brain all day. I was like, when she asked me who am I going to pick, like I figured out who I'm going to pick for right now, but it could change by the time
By the time
fight
we talk
happens.
about it.
Yeah. By the time we talk about it, like you'll tell me some stats, and I'll go,
Dang it.
dang it, that's it, that's
Yep.
the one right there.
Well, speaking of stats, we don't have a ton of them because, again, Aaron Pico, this will be his UFC debut. Of course, he's been fighting in Bellator for over a decade. Never saw championship gold over in Bellator, but he's one of those names that if you're an MMA fan, like you've been aware of Aaron Pico for a very, very long time. 28 years old, Lerone Murphy's 34, Aaron Pico 5'8", Lerone Murphy 5'9", Aaron Pico 71-inch reach, Lerone Murphy 73.5-inch reach. Aaron Pico is 13-4 overall, and Lerone Murphy 16-0-1 overall. Aaron Pico is on a 3-fight win streak, but the Kennedy fight, which is his lone loss in this really big chunk, was an injury stoppage. So there's the possibility that he could be on a 10-fight win streak right now. That's one thing to keep in mind. The man's been doing incredible things over in Bellator. And Lerone Murphy, 9-fight unbeaten streak in the UFC, which is a whole different kettle of fish, as they say. To start out, if it's okay with you, Dean, I'm going to run through, for maybe the uninitiated, a little bit history on Aaron Pico.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
So if you're a fan who is only a UFC fan, which I know there's a lot of those, just to give you the kind of the 101 on Aaron Pico, he was one of, if not the highest hyped prospects in the whole sport, like back in the early 2010s-ish. He was an incredible high school wrestler, and he was also a junior Golden Gloves boxing champ all the way back in 2009. So like Andy was doing, I want to say he was competing at the world level in pancration as well. So this kid is like before the generation that we see now of kids growing up doing MMA. He was that before it was popular. He was doing almost all the things at like an incredibly high level. Highest ranked high school wrestler in 2014. He won the under 20 national championships that same year. 2016, he fell just short of the Olympic team and was an alternate, actually. Had a Nike sponsorship. Like, this kid was a ridiculously high blue chip prospect, to the extent that in 2014, so even before he went on this Olympic bid, Bellator signed him to a developmental deal. He had no amateur fights yet, no pro fights yet, but they were like, we want you and we want to lock you down as early as possible. So we're just going to sign you now. And with the hope and the dream and the knowledge that you are going to pan out to be what we think you will be. He was training at AKA back in its heyday, back when DC was there and you know, Kane and everybody. In 2017, finally makes his pro debut on Bellator 180, and he got submitted in 24 seconds. And that kind of, I think, has been the story of Aaron Pico, is like, everyone put all these hopes on him so early, like before there was any evidence outside of like tons of evidence in individual sports, but hadn't done anything in MMA yet. And he is an incredible talent. There's absolutely no doubt about it. But he fell to the trap that a lot of people fall into, which there's a lot of amazing champions that lost their first fight. There's no, like, you can't be like, oh, well, he sucks now. But he did. He got submitted in 24 seconds by kind of a journeyman guy from Missouri. Builds himself back up. What's that?
I said I remember that. I was like, I remember thinking about, that guy's from Missouri?
Yeah, who's from Missouri? Who's even from Missouri?
Yeah.
Built himself up with 4 knockouts in a row after that. All right, so goes on the rip that everyone's like, oh, this is exactly what we were expecting. Then he meets a certain level of competition and gets knocked out twice in a row. And then after that goes on this incredible run. So I guess all of that to say, Aaron Pico is an incredible athletic talent. He is an incredible wrestler, an incredible boxer, but he never made it to the championship level in Bellator. And the honest truth is, he has not fought anyone even remotely sniffing the level of guy that Lerone Murphy is. And that's what we have to deal with in terms of analyzing this.
And it's, you know, we're now going to try to compare apples and oranges because they're fruit. And it's really difficult to do because, but the one thing you could say about Aaron Pico that I do like, I like the fact that he's got losses.
Yes.
This makes him a different case study than the other Bellator guys, PFL guys that have gotten signed, because we're getting him at 28. That's an important note because he's still young. Mm-hmm. We're getting him at 28. He's got losses. He has a lot of pressure on him, but I think that the people around, and he's got really good people around him with so much experience. The fact that he's got Brandon Gibson, the watchful eye of a guy like Brandon Gibson, who only trains one other guy, John Jones, one other guy. So he's got the watchful eye of Brandon Gibson. Then obviously, you know, he's surrounded by, you know, all the guys at Greg Jackson's who've been in these positions before. So I think he's got a lot of positives going into this, despite the amount of pressure that we're putting on him. I think he's got a lot of positives. And even with a loss here, he can still bounce back and be a UFC champion because he has that type of potential. And I do believe that he's got that type of, we spoke about it with Dricus du Plessis, that mindset, a world-class mindset. When you're that highly touted and you lose a fight like the way he did, or lose 4 fights like the way he did, and he still has this dream of being a UFC champion, this unwavering desire, you have a different level of mindset. He's got that. So I'm expecting him to one day be really, really good. Now, whether that happens against Lerone Murphy, I don't know, man. There's still the UFC rookie jitters. I still think there's a possibility that he does still fall prey to that. But I still think that the sky is the limit for him.
Yeah, it's been kind of a mixed bag in the last few years with people coming from high ranks and other promotions, whether it's MVP, who obviously did well and then, you know, had came up short, and then Pitbull, and then Patchy Mix, who didn't look like himself, and then Kayla Harrison, who's obviously become champ. Like, it's kind of all over the place in terms of what you get when you insert people who have a storied career in another organization, then you put them in the UFC. But I'm with you. Like, his skill set is one that does suit him to, once he gets settled, do very, very well in this division. Very, very well. And to your point earlier about Brandon Gibson, you can almost go back and like look at his trajectory in Bellator, and when he starts training at Jackson Wink, it's almost like someone sat down and was like, "Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but you're like a world-class wrestler,
Yeah.
and you haven't been using it.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and do that." And as soon as he started to really blend his skill set and not just box and not just try to get these sensational knockouts that he's clearly capable of getting. Like the guy's got crazy good power, great boxing. But now that he's wisened up and I'm assuming taken the advice of the amazing coaches at Jackson Wink. And also, by the way, he is also training with Sam Calavita alongside Hamzat Shemaev and Arman Sarukian in anticipation of this fight. So like another high level strength and conditioning mind that has been injected into the situation. Like he looks, did you see, I saw a picture of him the other day. Like he is shredded. He has been so ready to have this fight for so long. He's just itching to get in there. I rambled and now I lost track of what my point was going to be, but he's really good.
No, yeah, I gotta go back to some of his fights, man. I went down a rabbit hole of watching him fight this, and you could see the progression, and you could see him getting better along the way. And some of his knockouts have been insane, like you said. Like he's snapping guys' head back, and I mean he's got a lot of potential to be really good. And I do want to address one thing you said about the mixed bag of when we get these high level signees. A lot of that has to do with the matchups they get right away. Mm-hmm. When Kayla Harrison came in, that division is so weak. It didn't matter who she fought. All right, so I'm probably gonna take some shit for this, but
Holly's a hard fight for anybody, though, Dean. Don't you think?
What's that?
Holly's a hard fight for anybody to.
She's
look
42.
At, I know, but she's a tough. She's
No,
tough to look
no,
good
no, no, no,
against.
no.
You got a problem with 42-year-old women?
Yeah, in fighting. Think of this. Okay, you say this, right? What would you say if there was a 42-year-old bantamweight fighting Morab?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. That's like if you said heavyweight, I'm like, maybe a chance. 42-year-old, she's a 42-year-old bantamweight. Of course it's going to be, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying Holly's not good, but like stylistically, it's like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, and then also too, so when we think about MVP, his first fight was against who? Kevin Holland?
Yes.
Kevin Holland's got a good name, but just stylistically, like Kevin Holland doesn't have the discipline to come up with a really good game plan to beat a guy like MVP. So MVP was able to go out there and just kind of stun on him. Now, when you look at the guys, now you look at like Reiner de Ritter. Who did he fight in his first fight? Gerald Meerschaert, a guy exactly like him, but smaller and probably not as effective of a striker. So stylistically, like these guys that come in and get like these really good matchups, just like when we look back in hindsight, we go, it makes sense. Then you talk about like Pitbull, horrible matchup against Yair for your first fight. It's just the way it works out. Like if you get matched up right the first time, you can win fighting at 80% or 90%. Mm-hmm. But when you fight a guy like Yair your first time, if you're operating at 80%, you're going to lose.
What happens when you fight Lerone Murphy? Because he's really good.
That's the problem. Lerone Murphy's not going to let you win at 80%. So for old boy, he's got to come out and be above 90%. That's the thing. Fighting Lerone Murphy, you got to be above 90%. You can't be operating with nerves and beat a guy like Lerone Murphy. So we're going to see what he brings to this on Saturday.
Aaron Pico is danger everywhere. He's dangerous on the feet. He's dangerous in terms of his wrestling and his grounded pound. Danger. Lots of finishes. Lerone Murphy is surgical and he manages risk very, very effectively to win. He reminds me a little bit of Leon Edwards on his... Is
that because he's black?
No, it's not because he's black.
And they're both from like Manchester. It does. For me, it is.
They are very similar in the way
they are very similar. They're like skinny black guys from England.
They fight a lot alike.
No, they do. No, you're 100% right. Regardless of
race,
of what they look like, they are very similar. I do think if I'm Aaron Pico and I'm in his corner, I'm telling him, don't look for the knockout. It's okay to be boring this first
Yeah.
time. Just get the win. Just get in there, get your feet wet, and get the win. You're probably not going to get a title shot anyway. You'll have to fight somebody else anyway. But just get a win, just so you can fight somebody else good next time, and then you can show out.
Yeah, you make an interesting point because it's like, were they trying to give him an opportunity for a title shot? Because Evloev was ranked or is ranked number one, isn't he?
I think so.
So it's like you're right there, and that's a really good point that you make. It would be very tempting for Aaron Pico to get excited about the idea of like I'm one fight away from a title shot. Like, and to your point, it's almost like he has to take that out of his brain in this one. It can't be I'm going to come out here and make a splash because Josh Emmett, Dan Ige, Edson Barboza, like those guys have a lot of knockouts. And you know what they didn't do to Lerone Murphy? Win.
Exactly right. But that's some things that also too is it make me question Lerone Murphy. Like I got to go back and watch the MMA fights. The one fight I didn't watch, UFC Fight Pass has blocked that for me. But I don't know what it was. But all the other fights, he had to take those guys down in order to maintain some control. He's not taking down Aaron Pico. So like that's a bit alarming to me.
Emmett, if I remember right, he did not.
Okay, he didn't. So
Well, I'm going out on
and that's what I have to go back and watch.
Yeah.
I don't think he did,
I don't think he did.
but I have to go. I wanted to go back and watch that.
He just kept him at range. He really frustrated Emmett with the range. Like he just picked like he does. He picked him apart. He was really cautious on the outside, lots of feints, lots of movement. And he just kept him on the end of everything. And it was a little bit of a boring fight, if I'm being honest with you. Which is maybe why it's not clear in my or your brain what all happened there. But boring or not, the man is an incredible fighter in terms of knowing how to apply his skill set to win a 3 or 5 round fight.
So I'm sure you're wondering what my prediction is.
Yeah, I am.
I'm going to give you it.
Okay.
I think, especially now, if Aaron Pico was still at AKA or with Antonio McKee at out there in California, I would say Lerone Murphy. But because he's with Jackson Wink, and those guys are not afraid to win a boring fight, I think they're going to tell him exactly what I just told you. Listen, we just need to get this dub, homie. Just go out there, put him against the fence, wrestle him down, win 2 rounds, or maybe 3. But we just need to win, homie. So just go out there and win. I mean, who knows? Maybe he knocks Lerone Murphy out, but I think he just goes out there and gets this win just so he can get his feet wet and then go on his run.
Yep. And for Lerone Murphy, he kind of just needs to do what he does, and that is get Aaron Pico's respect in terms of like making it seem very dangerous to.
Yeah, he's got to hurt him. He's got to hurt him early. He can't
Yeah.
let him just jump in with impunity. He's got to hurt him.
Yeah, and Lerone Murphy's got such good timing on his knees and his elbows. I mean, he'll kind of play like a slow, low volume game on the outside, but just when you think that he's kind of lulled you and they're like, oh, I'm safe, I can enter in. His timing with the strikes in the pocket is incredible as well. So tough one. Who'd you pick?
I'm picking Aaron Pico.
Okay. All right.
I'm picking Aaron Pico to give Lerone Murphy his first dub. I think Lerone is due for a dub. I mean, L. I think he's due for an L. I think he's due for an L. So I think Aaron Pico is going to be the first to give him that.
How do you envision it happening?
Boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it goes out there. He's not going to gain any. I think he's going to go out there not gain any fans, but it's the right thing to do right now. Mm-hmm. To just go out there, wrestle him, make it boring, and then go, all right, give me Mosvar. That was the fight to make, and then I think he knocks Mosvar's head off, and then he can say, give me a title shot.
Love it. Got it all planned out for him. All right, we've got one fan question to get to on this one, but it's a long one, so let me get to it here. All right, at Eric Juarez DK2367, how did you guys get your position as a commentator and a cage side expert? Did you try to get those jobs, or was it just random? Did you try to get those jobs, or was it just random thought out working the desk and the contender series? I'm not sure what that means. I've been watching the sport since 2008, and I must say that Laura, you're one of my favorites these days. Thank you. Keep up the good. Watching from Copenhagen, Denmark. So we've got an international fan.
What's his name?
Oh, you're gonna make me read all that again. Eric Juarez.
Eric, what am I, chopped liver? I'm just kidding. I agree with you, Eric. Laura's one of my favorites too. All right, go ahead. You answer it first.
Well, I mean, there's no short answer to, but I guess the short answer would be no. It was not just that I was like, I think I'll try this. It was a lot that went into it. For me, it was tricky because I hopped sides of the fence. Like in broadcasting, one lane is your reporters, your anchors, and your play-by-play people. And those are the people that are really good at television, and they are conveyors of information that they have received, generally speaking, from other people. But they're really good at TV, and they're very good at traffic and like all that stuff. And that was what I did, even though I wasn't really that good at TV. I was a reporter. Hopping into the lane where you are a color commentator or an analyst and you are supposed to be taken seriously for your opinion is really hard to do, especially as like the first female to commentate in, since Kathy Long forever and ever and ever ago. So no, it wasn't just that I was like, I think I'll give this a try. There was a lot that went into it. I auditioned. I did lots of, it was a lot. It was a lot. I was working on that for many, many years, trying to convince people that I could do it. And then I did.
See, your journey was a lot different than mine. I got in because, life hasn't really dealt me out any other skills.
That's not true.
No, I mean, for those that don't know, sometimes people just see me, but this guy used to hang out with Dana White. Like I've had an illustrious fight career, 15 years as a professional, and all the while, and I think this really lends to how I approach fights now, because all the while, like I didn't just show up to a gym and was like, teach me how to fight. I had to teach myself.
Yeah.
Not only having to teach myself, I had to teach everybody around me how to do it so I can have training partners to fight fights. So I had always been having to study and analyze the way the fight game works. So I had a career, and then I ran multiple academies, jiu-jitsu academies and MMA academies simultaneously. And then I was one of the head coaches at American Top Team for years. But it all came down to one day riding bikes with the VP of the UFC's production, riding bikes with him, talking about fights. And he was like, man, you should be on the desk. And I said, okay. I don't really want to.
Oh, you
and
did?
He said, yeah. I said, man, I'm not cut out for this. You know what I'm saying? This is not what I do, man. I'm a gym rat. And he was like, I'll give it a shot. I had my guy call you. I was like, all right, I'll give it a shot. How much y'all going to pay me? He was like, we'll pay you. I was like, all right, well, you know what? You know what I'm saying? I'll try it. Next thing I know, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I'm hooked.
It's fun to be a nerd.
Yeah. Just being a nerd, right? Just being a nerd and studying. Like I study this. Like Laura, I could say I do videos for no reason.
He will. That's actually, this is a fact. Dean will send me the longest text or Instagram message, like pages of just a thought that he has. And and it's not related to anything that we've talked about before necessarily. It'll just be like, this is my thought on, I can't think of like one you've done recently, and then he'll send me just paragraphs and paragraphs. And I love the fact that you do that, by the way. I don't think I've ever told you that.
I didn't send you I got videos now. Like I broke down Kayla Harrison.
For no reason.
I did it for a reason, but I mean, I didn't have to do it. I just, and then like random fights. I'll just pick a fight and I'll just break it down and put it on video with commentary and everything. I had to send.
Is it on your YouTube? Where is it? Or you just
no, I don't. I don't even. I only give them to my fighters.
Yeah.
I'll send you some of the more recent ones that I did.
Yeah, please do. I would love that. I would love that. But yeah, I think both of you and I, have a curiosity about things, and like you have way much more fight experience than I do and coaching experience, and you're a 4th-degree black belt. And I don't have that, but I am someone who, like, when someone makes a statement like, oh, so and so's got he's got great movement, or he's got great striking, I'm like, but why? And then I watch it and I like, oh, it's because he's able to corral people. Okay, well, why is he able to corral people all the time? Why does that work for him? And I'll study it some more, and then, like, okay, it has to do with the footwork, but what specifically? Like, I just want to know. I think it's because I'm a know-it-all. Like, I just want to know.
And plus, as a female, you've had to do things the right way.
Yeah.
You know, as a female in the gym with a bunch of guys around you, and they're just like, just throw it harder, bro. And you're like, wait a minute, that's not the way that's not how I operate. Tell me how to do this thing right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. Definitely a unique journey, always being small, and yeah, it turned into what it turned into. But yeah, great question. Thank you very much for asking that. But yeah, it's definitely not just it's not as easy as some people would like to think it is in terms of, like, getting in these spots. I know I speak for Dean when I'm very, very grateful for
Man,
the job
I'm grateful
I
as
have,
hell.
tremendously grateful. I love it so much, and I'm excited that we get to work together more too, Dean.
Absolutely.
So thank you. All right, on that note, on that lovey-dovey note,
Oh yeah, my heart's all warm right now. Oh,
I would hug you if I could. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Dean, for your time. Thanks for just being you and being awesome. We appreciate you guys watching. Obviously, lots of other content to consume on this channel. Appreciate your likes and your subscribes, and we will see you next time.